video. This is part 2 of a video that I did, and this is less a part 2 and more an update, I guess you might call it, well, you've read the title. So in the first video, which I'll put the card here, I came to the conclusion that there was 3 origins of gay people. Now, let me just get this clear. Why I make videos like this is because I'm very fact-based, okay? And there's narratives that I counter. The narratives are lies, and what we see is, the more religious a society is, the more cruel they are to homosexual folks, okay? So I make these videos to counter false narratives, okay? So in the first video I explained how there's genetic gay people, and the genetic gay people have been around forever, and genetic gay people are Mother Nature simply saying, don't breed, you've got genes that aren't really good for breeding. Have a nice life, just don't breed. And that is what genetic gay comes from, is Mother Nature trying to curtail potential issues in the gene pool. Editing Guda here. So I wanted to add a little anecdote. I used to have a personal assistant. She was pretty obviously a lesbian. She claimed to be bisexual. She had a husband that claimed to be bisexual also, that appeared to be pretty much gay. Well, they had one of the most sickly kids you could possibly have. And it was super sad because you should be getting signs by being gay to not have children. Like, this poor little kid was born with a litany of medical issues and just forced to be in the hospital for crazy surgeries all the time because the mother wanted a baby. And that is a seriously disturbing thing, to just want a baby having crappy genetics and gonna bring in this baby that needs to be in the hospital all the time. That's criminal, okay, in my opinion. So, and then another story that comes to mind is about this Jordanian couple that just kept having dead babies. And they just kept, the doctors and scientists kept trying to, no, stop. Their genetics are so bad that Mother Nature is telling them not to breed, and you crazy doctors that have sick in the head with religion, just pushing and pushing, just stop. Just be happy that you have a nice life. You don't have to bring another life into this world that is going to have nothing but problems just because. I don't care if you're gay or not. This just has to do with genetics. Stop breeding if your genetics are crap. All right? So then there's gay people by choice. People just, for whatever reason, they've decided to be gay. And then there's gay people by trauma. And that's, they have, for whatever traumatic experience that they had, that turned them gay. Okay. So that was the first video. And the new information that has come out, and I'll link the video here. Now, there's the 4th way, that is plastics. So, chemical. So the chemicals are poisoning people. And that video I just linked, like, watch that video. That's some mind-bending stuff there. I mean, that's like, whoa. I mean, they're changing the sex of a frog with the chemicals that are in plastics. Okay? So, that's, and then I think there needs to be maybe even a 5th category that has to do with mental illness, right? that's just like, there's some mental illness that comes along. You're not choosing to be gay. You didn't have any trauma. You're not genetically gay. The plastic thing's not, but there is a mental health issue that has turned people gay. Okay, so that now we've gone from 3 to 5, and this is called science and staying up. Like, you can't just make a call today and expect, and there might be, I might be wrong. There might not be 5. That may not be a thing. Pretty sure it is, but I could be wrong. And I'm open to debate in the comments section, okay? Now, this is what we know, and so how do we go about, because we have people that, particularly religious people, that, in some cases think that just like killing everybody, is a good idea. And that's just horrible. What they're doing in Russia is just horrible. What they're doing in Georgia, probably Georgia the country and the state, is horrible. So it's a human rights thing, right? And it just boils down to, personally, I don't want to know what anybody's doing in their bedroom. I got zero interest in knowing, what your sexual preferences are. I don't care. It's not my business. And I think that's one of the biggest things we need to address, is that it's like the culture that's being created that is a very in-your-face with your sexual preferences. Now, there's times and places for everything. There's clubs and bars and parties and all that stuff where, people are all there doing their thing. Okay, great. I'm all for that. The only concern I have is with non-consent children and animals. And I'm not saying that this is that and that is this. I'm just saying, from my personal, I'm not going to get involved until those 3 things, if I've got whatever evidence, and I don't know how I would come across those types of things, but those are the types of things that I would step in to prevent, as a person, right? So, but when it comes to gay people, like, I just simply don't want to know, and I don't want, just in my normal everyday life, to have whatever somebody is doing in their private sexual lives to be thrust in my face. And that goes, I just had an occasion at one of these places that I shop where one of the employees was dressing extremely provocatively, and it led to this whole entire thing. And honestly, I don't think she should have been wearing those kind of clothes in the store, at work. That's my opinion. It's none of my business, but I think certain levels of outfits are just meant for the clubs, meant for the private parties. It's like, and even in adult businesses where kids aren't going to be, it's still, I guess if you are wearing those kind of clothes, then you should be open-minded to people saying something to you about that. Like, hey, you want me to, I don't know. My point with all this is that I don't want to know what people are doing in their bedrooms by just looking at them or talking with them, that I just seem like that's, like, we don't need, and in the inverse, there's all sorts of other types of cultural things, like, that I would prefer not to know about people. But this video, that's for another video. right? I mean, we all love food. We all love dance and music and all these things, but some things about cultures, just no bueno. No good. So I wanted to update that video and just make it, just because it's the facts. I made one video about the subject, and I might make another one. So, thank you for your time, and like and subscribe. Peace.